BTS 2026 predictions. I recorded this video on December 27th and I lost the footage. Now it's January 2nd. I realized we have a date for the comeback. I was gonna do a video on the OT7 live that they did a few days ago because I think I saw a few spoilers. What if they're not spoilers and I'm just like a crazy person? I think one spoiler is a song they're gonna do. It's going to have something to do with like no war, more peace. I don't know why. I don't know why. They said it in their first live in Los Angeles and then they repeated it in the last live.
싸우지 마, 싸우지 마. 싸우지 마!
너무 이쁘네요.
No war, peace!
몰라? 너무 이쁘. 둘, 셋!
감사합니다!
바이바이.
Peace!
아니 우리 사람들끼리 좀 더 보듬어줘야 된다.
우리 얼굴 다 만들어낼 수
우리
있잖아,
서로
AI가.
서로 옆에서 이제 안 하고 해야 돼.
그러니까 이제 전쟁도 그만하고
AI
그만하고
맞아.
그렇게 해야 돼. 인류끼리 친하게 지내야 돼.
저희 좀 친하게 같이 지내요 진짜로.
사랑해요.
나 얼마 전에 셋이 라이브 켰더만.
Now for the concerts, I think they're gonna have a huge tour and the tour is going to probably extend to 2027. But they're like gonna have long breaks in between cities. But maybe they're not. And that's okay. BTS will have something to do with the World Cup. If they do, they will probably perform in Mexico and not the United States for the World Cup. This is completely magical thinking or like manifestation. I think that the tour will probably begin around June or August and it will extend until 2027. I think it will be a massive tour, but because of like how things are in the world, I think there will be a lot of economical issues that will make it so that even though this will sell out, it will be like more concentrated on like wealthier fans. Therefore, I hope, this is not a prediction, but I'm hoping, I'm putting it out there to the universe, that they do continue to do the movie screenings, and especially the live viewing on the cinema, on the theater. I guess they could probably do it on Weverse because they want to promote Weverse capabilities and it will be a bigger chunk of the revenue for Weverse. But going in person and seeing it with your ARMY friends that are not really your friends, but they're friends to you because like you're into things that are the same for you and them. Like you like the same things. That's what I wanted to say. That's more fun. In my opinion, that's like more fun. Please, Big Hit, do that more instead of like Weverse lives. And my prediction would be that if they do that, they will do it for the opening date and the closing date. Maybe they can do like multiple, since I believe that this is going to be a huge show. They could probably do the opening and closing date for live viewing at the movies, but they should also do one per emblematic city. Like they always do one in Japan. So they can do one in Japan. They could also do like one for the United States, one for South Korea, one for Latin America. I would want to see that. But I don't know, that's very expensive. So I'm just like saying things right now. I'm just saying nonsense. I also think that there will probably be more releases from each member throughout the year. So even though they will have the tour, I don't know why I sense that V will either be working on an album or come out with multiple singles, and Jungkook. Seokjin, I don't think so. He probably is like gonna rest and work on the member things. But I think maybe V, Jungkook, Jimin, J-Hope is just like so artistically minded and wants to develop his like artistic self so much that I can see him working on something as well. RM, I don't know. I'm hoping, but I don't know. And Yoongi, I'm hoping that he will put something out, but probably they won't. And like, this is just, I just see in my head, I think that the most likely person to do something is V. And that the other members will probably just go with the flow of the members' activities, which is honestly already gonna be a lot of work. Well, this is not a prediction. This is like a prediction and like putting things out there for the universe. I hope that Yoongi gets to do Suchita again, though probably because of what happened and the culture, he probably won't. But if they do, here's what my ask would be. Have one ARMY go to the show. Like when V did spend a day with ARMY and V, and these girlies got to spend the day with V, I think that Yoongi should do that. Oh, I was also gonna say about the concerts. Well, first I'm gonna talk about Mexico concerts and then concerts in general. For Mexico concerts, artists on the caliber of BTS, they have been doing mini residencies. Bad Bunny just had like 13 dates. I remember Coldplay a few years ago, 1.5 years ago, they also had like 12, 13 dates. Shakira has been coming back to Mexico like 4 times a year and doing like 7 or 8 dates at a time. Dua Lipa only had 2 dates. But, so my hope is that at least for Mexico, they can do a mini residency. And if they do not do a mini residency in Mexico City, I hope that they get to tour Mexico. So the normal tour dates are Monterrey, Guadalajara, and Mexico City. So I hope they get to do at least those. But they probably won't do that because they probably will be going to more Latin American cities, at least Chile, Brazil, Argentina, and I don't know. I hope that my fellow Latin American countries get more dates. So if they do that, they probably won't stay as long in Mexico. But if they do, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, but they probably won't do that because that's a lot. Though Mexico is a good streaming place for them, so I don't know. Now, for the tour as a whole, they will probably be doing like pop-up stores for each tour that they won't actually have to be there. It's just like an experience based. And I'm saying this because that's just the theme that artists have been doing lately. It's another way to do a revenue thing. It enforces like fan artists interactions, activates the most loyal fans. So they will probably do that. The one that I have been loving the most, or the one that I loved the most here in Mexico City, was the Dua Lipa one. She opened a pop-up taqueria. So I'm hoping they do that. The last time they brought up the J-Hope pop-up store, they did a mini esquites stand. And that is where they sell like the traditional Mexican corn on the cob and esquites, like, I don't know, I'm gonna show it here. So I'm hoping that they can do something like that, and they will be probably doing something along the lines in the main metropolitan areas. Another proposition that I have for the BTS team that will never see this, but it's still a proposition. I really loved the Bad Bunny concerts. What he did was bring in La Casita. La Casita was the main stage, away from the main stage in the stadium. So normally stadiums, you have the main stage and all of the fans are sitting around, right? Like here. Something that Bad Bunny did, and in my opinion, was to democratize the show, meaning so that the people who pay less can have access to the artist in the same way, is bring another second main stage called La Casita, which is a modeling of a house at the end of the stadium. So the people that pay less, that are at the back of the venue, could see Bad Bunny like really up close. This is not really a new concept. A lot of artists have done it. It's not something new, but I would hope that they can do something like that, because normally they have a runway. That's the main way to bring the artist closer. But I think, in my opinion, runways are like, they just make it weird. I think that artists have a hard time with how like music travels. So when they go to the runway in the middle of the concerts, they are like at a disadvantage. They cannot hear themselves the way sound travels, and most of the bocinas, like the loudspeakers, are at the front. They just have a hard time. But I think that if you do that, then you can like do it. I don't know, in my opinion, in my dumb mind, that I'm not a music engineer, I think it will be better. I'm hoping that we don't suffer as much from the economical like downturn that I'm expecting it would happen. Let's just my hope for ARMY is that we can focus more on good things. The algorithm wants us to focus on the bad things. Even when we make campaigns like, oh, like report this person on Twitter or go against this other person. I know that we are defending our artists, but at the same time that like feeds the algorithm so that it could show you again and again and again all of these horrible people. And at the end of the day, I think that most of them are bots. My hope is to stop focusing on the hate and just focus on like loving on the music, loving on the 7 members, uplifting it instead of, we don't have to be, I know it's a good thing. For example, my most favorite show of all time is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And if you have seen K-pop Demon Hunters, you will see the parallels. It's just a trope, the parallels of the trope, in which you are the chosen one to fight against all evils. That is a really good, uplifting story. And especially for BTS and ARMY that have always been the underdogs, it is uplifting to hear about how we fight against injustices. But my hope is that instead of like fighting directly with like the demons, we can like just drown them out by the positivity. And that is a very different strategy. Now it's January 2nd. I realize we have a date for the comeback, which was May. Oh my God, May 20th? Let me fact, March. I don't know. Anyways, we have a date for the comeback and we have a letter that the members sent to the gold members holders. There are people like coming up with ideas. To be honest, I don't want to come up with an idea because we really don't know anything other than the red characters over white background. It could really be anything. I thought of the circle, I thought of the vinyl or a CD, but I thought also maybe it could be a sort of stylized version of a Hanguk letter. Is it how you say it? The Korean alphabet? Though the two other icons, I don't know. I'm not sure. White over red makes me think of like fighting, projection, maybe the sun. Of course, it coincides with spring, so maybe it could have many different meanings. So I don't know. Over the next few weeks, we might get more info and I might do a video on that. I hope you have a good beginning of the year. I hope you have a great year. I'm hoping that we can have a better year for 2026, and I'm hoping that it can be a great year for BTS and ARMY overall. My personal goal for the year, well, I have several goals in regards to BTS. I want to go to the concerts, so I'm going to get my ish together because I've really been in my broke era for the past like 9 months. Then second one, I want to buy more CDs. I've bought a few of the solo era CDs. The past 3 drops I haven't bought because I've just been broke. So my goal is to collect the albums, hopefully get a few vinyls. And I'm personally not going to be streaming on Spotify. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be streaming. I might be streaming on Apple Music, but if I don't, my way of supporting the artist is going to be buying their music. I already bought their albums on iTunes, but my hope is to have musical media, so that is what I will be doing. And another personal goal is to not engage in nonsense. I'm done with clickbait and I'm done with bad actors farming for our engagement. So I hope you can do that as well and focus on BTS. Anyways, thank you.